Oh, I can see Nick is
Yes,
Nick
you are.
Redman. Nick Redman is actually watching, and she said, "I can't see Helen's face." That's because I'm trying to sort out the live right now. Yeah,
Oh,
Helen's excited because you're watching Nick. Hang on one sec. Let me see. I don't usually deal with Instagram Live, so you're gonna have to bear with me. All right.
I don't. I've never done a
I've got
live.
the live going, and I think I click this icon, and then I have to find a person, and then I type your name in. Here we go. Invite. I've just invited you. So if you have a look at your phone, it
Sounds so
should.
excited. Join room. I need to. Do I
There
need
you
to?
go. There
Do
you
I need
go.
to?
So we're live on two places now. So now
Whoa.
we've got two people watching. It might be the same person watching both streams.
But then do I have to? We honestly, this is hilarious already. Let me turn this down.
I'm gonna have
I've
to turn my sound down on my phone now, otherwise it's gonna be
This is-
okay. We're going out live now to two people. Woo!
I am so
Right.
technologically bad. This is embarrassing already. Okay.
You know, I embarrass myself all the time, so you know, I'm a
Oh,
professional at that.
okay.
I hope whoever's watching likes the fancy graphics background there. It comes
I love
free
it.
with the package, so I figure I'd just leave that up. I can't work out how to get rid of that background now. So you
Keep
know,
it. How do
I'm
I?
gonna
I'm
keep
echoing. I've got a
it
technological
as is.
question already. I'm echoing on this from this.
You're
to
echoing.
How do I
I
turn
wonder
that
if
off?
it's because I've got the sound turned up on my phone as well. That might be it.
I've tried to
Or
turn
maybe you got the sound turned. You might have the sound turned up on your phone.
I've
So
turned it
that
off.
might be what's doing it. It's probably looping through. We should have worked this out before we actually came on air.
Actually embarrassing. This is
That
so
would have
funny.
been a good idea. It's my fault. It's my as the host. That's my problem.
It's your
I
fault.
should be. I should have sorted this out beforehand.
Nick, help us. Mark, your sound is coming in twice.
My sound's coming in twice. That's great. You
Yeah.
get to hear me twice. I mean, two for the price of one.
What
That's
do we
absolutely
do?
perfect. There we
Okay.
go. See, I knew this would have been a mistake doing
Oh, that
doing
sounds
both
better.
streams, but there you go.
That's better. Okay.
Okay,
Right.
so people are hearing me twice. That's fine. Just turn your sound down when I talk, and then just listen to Helen's answers. But I can hear it as well. I can hear my voice coming through. That's irritating. It's irritating enough just hearing my voice once. So
Oh
you
my
know,
god.
that's bad enough. I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know.
I'm just gonna soldier on through and ignore myself.
Okay.
All right, Helen. So first of all, thank you very much for coming and to talk to me on Talk Like That. And I've really been looking forward to having a chat with you for such a long time. So now that you're finally here, I'm all of a dither. So Helen, you have been dialect coaching for a very long time, right? Like, when did you start?
Not that long, to be honest. Probably about four years, like in film, and then before that, unofficially for quite many years, just coaching people I knew and anyone that asked, really, before I knew it was a job. So yeah, quite a while if you look at it that way. But as professionally as a job, full time, probably about 4 years, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it feels like a lot longer.
Do you find that a lot of people, when you tell them what you do, they'll then say something like, that's a job?
Yeah, absolutely. All the classics. That's such a cool job. Oh, I didn't know that was a job. Oh, how did you get into that? All of those probably in succession in that order. But I don't blame them because I didn't know it was a job either before I did it. Because I didn't train as an actor or anything. I didn't come that way through the ranks. So yeah, it is. It's a job that not many people know about unless you're in this industry.
And that's the other thing. That's the other thing about dialect coaching is that so many dialect coaches come to that job from many different angles. Like they've all come, like so many of, okay, a lot of them come they started off as actors, or they started as, voice experts or something like that. But I've met so many that have done lots of different other things to end up at the same place.
Yeah, which I think is go
As
on.
for you, didn't you start off as a dancer?
Yeah, I did actually. I did dance and French was my degree. Is this sound getting? Hang on, I'm just reading.
Is it annoying you? Because I'm, for
I
some
think-
reason, I've got it. It's like, hang on a
I
minute,
think, yeah, I think
because
it's
I'm
probably
trying to
annoying.
turn down my volume here on the Instagram one where I've got half a head showing. It's so badly set up. I wonder if
I think
I
if we,
stop the Instagram one, whether it will whether it make the oh, hang on, it stopped. No.
is it there? I just don't want it to be annoying for people.
Yeah, I know
I can deal with it,
exactly.
but I don't want people to be like, "Oh, this is too annoying."
Yeah, I know exactly. So I'm just going to try something. I'm going to move my Instagram one over here and then
Okay.
see if I turn this one down over here and then just have your sound down on the phone and see if that changes anything. I need
That
a
works.
technical person.
We do. We
That's
should have.
the thing.
We
Okay.
should
Let me
have
just
rehearsed
try.
this.
I'm just going to try turning the sound down on my Mac. That's going to take 10 minutes as well. Okay, I'm turning the sound up. Bloody thing is so slow now. So we're going to get the echo because I've got sounds coming out of both.
Let's see if that's done anything.
Oh, you sound better on the phone, actually.
You think that's
Okay.
better?
How's that?
I think that sounds better, maybe?
Yeah,
Should we go with
I
that?
think the echo is slightly less. So if you're still watching, welcome to the technical talk that we're having. It's alternative Zoom technology and how to minimize your sound problems with Mark Dallas and my assistant Helen Jane Simmons, who's quite new at this. And obviously, I've been doing this a while, but I'm still not very good.
I think I
Anyway,
might
as I
apply for
was
a
saying,
job.
yeah, you don't want a job with me, that's for sure. Because I tried to turn down the sound of my computer now, and it's still coming through. So I obviously don't know how to work my Mac. So that
This is
why
hilarious.
is the
Right.
sound coming through? This is ridiculous. This is the worst comedy ever.
It's really just so funny because it's not funny. People are probably just getting really bored of this chat now. Like, oh,
Yeah, it's well, we still. I tell you what, the numbers are increasing on Instagram.
Yeah,
and they're
I think
stayed at
everyone's laughing.
1 on the other thing. So I
Okay,
think
never
if
mind.
anything, this is actually increased because people would have disappeared by now.
I think the word's
without
getting
this.
out at how shit we are at this. Never mind. Okay, let's keep going because
Okay, we'll keep going regardless. The show must go on, right?
It must. Okay, what did you ask me?
I asked you about how you started out, and you said you were a French dancer or something like that.
Definitely wasn't a French dancer, but I did do a degree in dance and French. They were just my two favorite subjects at the time, so I chose to do those. They were nothing to do with each other, didn't do them both at the same time. Get all of these questions as well. I just loved to dance and I loved French. But actually, later on in life, I realized that actually it was the French accent that I loved, not necessarily speaking French in France to French people, because I got super nervous doing that. But yeah, so I think it all kind of informed where I was headed, because I just loved I loved French classes because I loved doing the accent. And I always used to get told that my accent was really good in French. People are like, oh, are you fluent French? And I'd be like, no, I can just make 2 of those sentences sound French. And that was it. So yeah, it was a bit of a weird way in. It was a bit of a
Did you
strange
ever? I mean, when people used to say to you, "Oh, your French is really good," and so you'd say something in French, and would you ever get it where they would you'd ask a question and they would answer you in something that you didn't understand? Like,
Yes.
you ask them something and then they'd be, ah, oui, c'est bien, parce que le consomme le toilette, le consomme le bas, le toilette, et maintenant, and you'd be like, what the fuck are they saying? Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, always. Which I don't want to say is like a downside to having a good accent, but this sounds really big-headed, but if you can say something in French with a really good French accent, they will do that. They will respond really quickly in French back to you, and then you're in trouble. Or I was. And then they just speak English back to you because everyone can speak English, and we're rude and we can't speak any other languages.
Or
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or we just say the same thing in English, but really
louder.
slowly and louder.
Yeah.
So that's really annoying. Brits and Americans are not great at the multilingual thing, right? Are we? So
the best.
I would get the same kind of thing in Spanish. So I've been to Spain quite a lot, and my Spanish it's poor. It's not as bad as my French, but it's still it's awful, and the grammar is terrible. But my pronunciation is really good. So I think that's something that's the thing with people that are into accents. We listen really carefully and try to get it accurate. But the problem is, it's a kind of curse in the way, because then when we pronounce it the right way and people think that we speak the language fluently and then come back and it's like, I'm sorry, mate, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah.
Then you look stupid. But at least you tried, you know? And I always think, if I'm going to try, I'm going to do the accent like they do it. So I might not know what it means, but I can repeat it like you. And that counts for something, I think.
I think so, definitely. I mean, there's the other thing in the UK. I mean, you grew up, you were in school when, like, I was already working, like, you're way younger than me. But when you were at school, was there this kind of attitude there was when I was in French class, where it's like, if you spoke the language with a French accent, then other kids would be like, what are you trying to prove? Like, you think you're better than us? Did you ever, was that kind of attitude?
I don't know. I can't really remember. Possibly. That was like the same in any class, though, wasn't it? Whatever the class is, if you excel at that subject, there's always going to be someone in the class that's like, oh, I know I was, about anyone in maths.
Right. Who's this what?
Maybe. Yeah.
When I was at school, it was not fashionable to be a nerd. Like, if you were a nerd, if you wore glasses like this, which I didn't, I just read these for reading. But if you looked nerdy, it was like it was just an invitation for people to beat you up. But now it's like, it's cool to be nerdy.
Cool, right? To be nerdy.
Yeah. But now it's like, I just remember that it was like, if you were trying to speak French and sound French as you speak French, other kids it was kind of a challenge. Like, it was cooler to just speak French with an English accent. So it would be like, oh, bonjour, madame, whatever her name is, right? And speak with that. Anyway, going back to you, Helen, because we're not here to talk about, reminisce about my French classes. I wonder, what accents did you grow up with as a kid? Like,
so obviously, as you can hear, I'm a northerner. So I grew up in Lancashire. So I had, both parents from Lancashire. I did have a set of Irish grandparents. I think everyone's got a set of Irish grandparents lurking in the background, haven't they? And so randomly, we used to watch Neighbours and Home and Away in our house. I don't know if you've heard of those Australian soaps. We watch those every single day. And so we kind of did grow up around, and we had Australian family as well. So I feel like Australian was quite a prominent feature in our house. And I do think that actually that was the first accent that I remember ever kind of having a go at and just doing it. And I remember every few years as well, we used to have big family reunions and the Aussies would come over. And I think I do also remember, I was probably about 9 or 10. And I just got sick of my own accent. I was like, why is their accent better than mine? I'd much prefer to sound like them. So I genuinely remember thinking, I might just hang out with them for a bit and then just slowly start to phase out my own accent. Because I just prefer to be Australian. So I thought no one will notice. We watch Neighbours and Home and Away all the time. They're speaking Australian. It'll be absolutely fine. And then I think I got an hour in and my mum was like, Helen, can you stop speaking like that? It's a bit weird. I was like, oh, damn it. I can't believe I was busted. So
what are you talking about? I've no idea why is saying that. Like, I haven't changed my accent at all.
I know. I think I was a bit like that. I was like, what? And then I just phased it out again really slowly. Oh, I did it really subtly. Nobody would have noticed. Only my mum. And then, yeah, I went to uni. And then obviously you meet more people at uni who don't live where you're from. So I had the girl from Hartlepool, I remember. And I'd never heard that accent before. And it's not Geordie. It's not Geordie, but it's kind of similar. It's northeast. So yeah, I'd never heard that accent before. It was an Irish girl. I had a Brummie, my first Brummie mate. So yeah, and I just loved it. I'm pretty sure I used to mimic them all the time to their faces on nights out. But yeah, it's all informed what I do now. So, it was all research.
And it was all research, and you got away with it. Nobody beat you up for it, which is fantastic.
Because and I do actually get reminded quite a lot now from people, because again, I had no idea about what job I would end up doing, and now my friends always say like, "Oh, do you remember what you always were good at accents? You used to do this then," and I was like, "What? I can't even remember doing that." So it's quite nice, actually. It's quite nice to be reminded.
Excellent. So your obsession with accents started around about the time that you started college, or was it before that?
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it an obsession, only because I genuinely feel like when I was younger, I didn't ever, or actually until very recently, I didn't really see it as a skill. I just assumed everyone could do it. I assumed everyone could do accents. I assumed everyone could just change their accent if they wanted. Which of course now I know is very naive of me to think, but I do remember it being a long time where I didn't appreciate that as a skill. So yeah, I wouldn't say even now I'm obsessed with accents, but it's something I can't switch off. So it's like a nice obsession, and it's a nice skill, but it's something I definitely can't decide when I hear stuff and when I don't. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm listening to an accent and it's not quite right, or it needs work, or something isn't quite sitting correctly yet.
Now you're trying to work out which layer it is that isn't quite working. Right?
Yeah, and it's sometimes, it's kind of a curse in a way sometimes as well. Sometimes means you can't enjoy things,
right?
Or you just can't switch off from it. So
yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you mean, and my wife would completely understand, because I remember the first time do you know Vera, the TV show? Yeah. Brenda Blethyn. I was watching that with Anne, and she loves the show. Like next time we go up to Newcastle, because I've got family that live up in Newcastle, around the area. Well, they live in Sunderland, but I don't tell people that. But next time
don't call them Geordies.
Yeah, Mackems. They're Mackems rather than Tackums, right? So, but I love Newcastle. So we both have a love affair with that area, and so whenever we go up there, like we have a great time. But next time, she said we have to go on the Vera tour, because that show, she loves that show. But started watching that with her, and then I'm going, oh, there's something not quite right with Brenda's accent. There's something that's not quite Geordie with it. And oh, you've disappeared. Oh, you've disappeared on my Instagram. I'm gonna have to invite you back on Instagram, because I think maybe your phone's lost signal. Hang on, I'll turn up your technical problem. See, that's why I go live in two places.
So complicated, isn't it?
I can't hear you now. I've got to turn up the. Okay. All right. So yeah, you've disappeared. I'm gonna invite you again on my Instagram.
Okay.
Try again. Okay, hang on a second. See, that somebody asked me, I don't understand why you're live in two places. I don't know if that's how they meant it. Like, what the fuck are you doing live in two places?
No, I think
for this very reason, because Wi-Fi in hotels is not good. It's Helen that's in a hotel. Lucky Helen in a hotel with work.
Yeah, it's probably all my fault though, isn't it?
Having my meals delivered to me, room service. Okay,
No,
give
I
me one
haven't eaten
second. I'm going to
yet. I've
invite
come
you.
straight from work to this.
Yeah, work to hotel to work. I know.
Yeah,
I know. But it's,
that's
you know,
life.
it's
Okay.
good. Here
I'm
you
going
go.
live again.
And you're back.
Okay,
She's
great.
back also. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying,
So I haven't actually watched, just to point out as well, I haven't actually watched Vera ever.
oh,
So
okay.
I can't possibly
So you
comment
can't speak
on
to it.
that.
No, it's okay. I'm not gonna ask you to comment on it. Don't worry. I'm not gonna
If I
do that.
wanted to.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna put you on the spot and say, so what do you think of Brenda Blethyn's accent? That's not I'm not gonna do that. I'm not a total asshole. But I was watching it and I'm going, I don't know, there's something. And basically that's her curse because it's a curse for me because I'm always listening and then and she's like, will you just shut up? I'm trying to watch this.
Yeah, it's annoying. You become really annoying for anybody to watch anything with. So even if it's not going, oh, that doesn't sound right. Oh, there's something. Sometimes I'm like, oh, where are they from? I can hear this, and oh, I bet they've got influences of that. I bet their mum or dad is from there. Like you literally can't stop it. Like any word somebody says, oh, I know someone that says that word like that. And it's like, this is really boring now. We all have different accents. Just stop banging on about them. But yeah, you're right.
But for us, it's exciting. It's an exciting thing. It's like, oh, that sound. Yeah, that's from that area. Yeah, exactly. So tell me, how do you usually start? Like, because obviously you're dialect coach and you train people how to talk in certain accents. So how do you start usually? What's the first thing you do? Like once you're brought on, to join the production team, and it's like, okay, these people need this particular accent. Where do you begin?
I think there's no one. It depends on so many different things, obviously. I think if like you just said, it's for a production, first thing you need to do is find out what is needed by director, producers, film, whatever. Is it set somewhere? Is there a family of people that need to sound the same? Era, period, that kind of thing. So that would be the first thing. And then if you can meet the actors fairly early on, I think first and foremost, it's really important to find out what they need, 100%. What they need, what they want, what would help them. And everybody is so different with how they learn, basically. So yeah, always would be asking the actors what they need. Sometimes actors would just be like, will you just give me some samples that I can be listening to before we even have a session, so that they can just immerse themselves in the sound.
Right, yeah.
So that could sometimes be quite a common thing. So they can just have it on the background. Others might literally, want to go back to school, give me the sounds, give me a sound sheet. Others might want phonetics. I think I've had that once ever, but still, for some people, it's what they need. It can really help them. What else? Sometimes just an accent breakdown, which is just like a kind of document that I would put together, which would have all the different features of that accent, with practice stuff, maybe stuff from the script. Again, it's really open-ended. And yeah, every actor's different. Every coach is different as well. So, every coach works really differently, which I think is brilliant. And that's why, you will get actors going back to kind of the same coach, or they'll ask for other coach. If that one's not free, they'll ask for recommendations, because it is a really personal process. And I think, it's just really important to find out what works best for you, the actor. And then the coach would go from there, I think. You would never, if an actor said, "Oh, I really want something like this," you would never say, "No, I'm not doing that. It's not how I work, actually." So do it my way,
Yes, my way or the highway.
Way.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's a great way. It works for me. So I think it's just about being really, really open, which again is something I find quite exciting because I am a person that gets bored of stuff easily. So if I thought that every job I was going to have to do the exact same thing, the exact same, way, I would just get bored of myself. Like I would just be bored of my own life. So I quite like the excitement of meeting a new actor and going, "So how do you feel about this then? What can I do?" And then, yeah, it's sometimes a challenge, but it keeps my brain working as well. So yeah, that's a good question.
Have you ever had a situation where it's been like a last minute thing? I know this is probably not the kind of work you usually do, but I've heard about actors who have been called on set like, an hour or two to when they're supposed to be shooting to help them with an accent change or something. Does that ever happen for you? Or has it ever?
Oh, what, to be called in as the coach 2 hours before to go help? It's not happened to me personally. But I mean, I've gone onto a job like the next day, are you free tomorrow kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's quite a common thing. But no, never like with a couple of hours.
Mm.
And I don't think, never in the sense that, quick, this needs fixing, get someone in, fix it in 2 hours. Never in that situation.
Right.
So yeah, I hope maybe it happens. I'm sure it probably has, but not with me just yet.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Yes. I would just in that situation feel bad for the actor, because there's one thing being called as a coach to go and try and fix or help somebody really quickly, but that poor actor must feel way worse about it than the coach might.
Exactly, because I mean, then it's not just your reputation on the line. It's like they're the ones that in front of the camera, and that has to pull that off. But I've heard of it happening. I don't have names, but I've heard of it. So do you find that some actors getting their head around an accent is more of a challenge than it is for others?
Oh, my sound just went.
Oh yeah, you're derping on Instagram. I think you're back though on Insta. Oh, can you hear me?
Am I back?
I can hear you on
I can hear you.
Facebook and YouTube.
I think
Instagram is kind of.
I don't even know what I'm on. I don't even know what I'm on right now.
I wish I was on something. I think it's
so much more exciting for people.
Yeah, I know. Next, we should do this again, but next time we'll decide which drug to take first. It's because of the phone or whatever, Wi-Fi and all that kind of thing. So I think Instagram can be a bit glitchy with it. So anyway, I'll repeat the question. Do you find that for some people it's a lot harder to get, because there's that distance between like first of all, it's perceiving the sounds that you're given to say. So perceiving it, being able to hear it and perceiving that, and then getting it from the brain. Well, this is the way I think about it. And then getting it from the brain to the tongue and coordinating all the movements to make those sounds and make them come out in the pattern that's required. So actually mimicking an accent is this whole, I mean, it's no surprise that you started off as a dancer, because the whole thing is a choreography, right? The whole thing is like a dance of the tongue. So do you find that for some people, just like I'm hopeless when it comes to dancing, some people have more of a challenge getting it, from the brain to the mouth and getting it through? I've
also just realized, should I be looking here? Would it be better if I looked at the Instagram?
You can look where you like. It doesn't matter as long as we can hear what you're saying.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to change for a bit. So yes, in short, yes, but it's always a spectrum, like anything, like learning anything, any subject.
Yeah.
People learn at different rates. They learn in different ways. They might, like I slightly touched on before, figuring out what kind of learner you are is the place to start, and that's the advice that I would give to any actor or anybody learning an accent. Figure out what you need, what's going to help you. Visual, are you visual? Are you a physical learner? Because yeah, as you say, it is a very physical thing. Voice is part of the body.
Mhm.
It's all physical. Learning accents is physical, so it does need to sit within your body. And if you hold a lot of tension, if you perhaps don't feel at home in your body, and then that creates more tension, you might struggle with that. Are you an oral learner? Do you just need to mimic? Do you just need to listen to stuff and just try it? So yeah, it's a real spectrum. I wouldn't. It's hard to say. Yes, some people struggle with learning accents more than others do, because there will be accents that everybody can learn that different people are better at. Will pick up quicker. Some people will be really good at a Scouse accent, but really struggle with a Cockney accent, and vice versa. So yeah, yes and no, really. I think just with learning anything is a spectrum. Yeah.
And I guess what advice would you give that person that finds that they're struggling with it? Is it like just finding what works for them, the style of learning it?
100%. Just figure out what learner you are. When I did a master's in voice at Central School of Speech and Drama, before I started this job, obviously. And one of the best things that we did was we had to do this test where we figure out what kind of learner we are, which sounds really pathetic. We did some other really cool stuff as well. It's not the best thing we did, but just like as one of those light bulb moments, just do this kind of survey questionnaire thing, fill in all these questions, and you figure out what kind of learner you are.
Yeah.
And it's just really basic stuff, but I feel like everyone in the world needs to do this, because it will really change how you learn and how hard you are on yourself. Because I think a lot of people probably go through life going, oh, I'm shit at that. I can't do it. I can't do accents. The number of times I hear people say that,
Yes.
I can't do accents. Well, you can do one because you speak. So don't say that. It's very damaging when people use that language. I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I just think if everybody took this test and just figured out what it is that helps them to learn, we'd be in a far more balanced place with it, I think.
I'm pretty sure I know which survey questions it is. There's like, I think it's like 27 questions, and it asks you things like, do you like to doodle? Do you take notes? Do you, I don't know, stuff like chew gum and walk at the same time, that kind of stuff.
Really random. And it's designed that way so that you don't think, oh, if I answer this, I'm obviously going to be that. Like you don't even think about it. They're really random questions. But it's something like that, 20, 30 questions. And by the end of it, you count. And it's really, really spot on. I was, just in case anyone cares, I was an absolute division of the three: visual, oral, and kinesthetic.
Yeah.
Which again really makes sense in my life. I am quite visual with certain things. I am oral because I'm a mimic and I listen and repeat. But I'm kinesthetic because that's the dance part of me, and I feel at home in my body. So yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to to that survey in the comments later, so people know what we're talking about.
God, this is so technologically amazing. It's just incredible what you can do now.
You see, I know. I mean, technology these days and the internets and everything, it's amazing. So tell me, what has been the most challenging accent for you to teach to date?
Ooh, this is an interesting one. I don't think there's one example of a situation where I've thought this is the hardest accent I've ever had to teach, or a situation where I've had to teach an accent to someone.
Mm.
But there are several situations that I'd find that I think are generally quite tricky. So I think, so the RP accent, I think it's probably my least favorite to teach. And that's only because I find there to be so many different versions of this accent. I know there are different versions of many accents now, of course. Everything's always evolving. But I find with RP specifically that there's just so many, like I said, there's so many versions of it. Everywhere you go, you hear this accent, but slightly different. And so a lot of the time when people come to you and they want to learn an accent, they kind of want rules. They're like, what do I do? When do I do that? When? And it's not, you can't give that. You're like, well, sometimes you might hear this, but a lot of it's kind of guesswork. And
and it's like a zone. This is the thing. It's like you said, it's not, people want rules because, like, when you're learning math, you know where you are with mathematics. It's like there's one answer. There's no ambiguity.
Wrong. Exactly.
But when it comes to like teaching an accent, it's more like it's in as long as you're within a zone, because this is the other thing. Like, it actually works like zones as well geographically. Like, you're going to be within the continuum somewhere in that area, literally. As long as you're in that zone, you're okay.
If you're getting off the tube here, that's the zone you're in, and just stick there. I think it's that, and that's what I always say. I'm like, it's unless it is right or wrong, and in this period, they wouldn't say that. And if there is that grey area, which more often than not there is, it's just about consistency. So I would just pick a lane and stick to it. So I think RP for me personally is the one I kind of don't struggle with, but it kind of it can get a bit tiresome for me, I think, sometimes. And with actors, I think, because they go, who do I listen to? What is it? What is this accent? And it's just changed so much over the years. And then the other thing I was going to say that I think can be quite tricky as an accent to teach is anytime you have to merge accents. So, and I haven't had this, I don't think, yet. I have actually coaching a real person. Anyway, so if the brief is kind of they grew up here, their parents are from here, they live here, their boyfriend is from here, that kind of thing. And I have had quite a few people who've had auditions for things come to me and say, oh, this is the brief, all of these different influences. So I think that's quite exciting, for one. I would find it quite exciting if I had to do it myself, because I would pick and choose the bits that I think, well, if I was from there, this sound I would never change. So kind of the north-south, Bath. Like, as a northerner, I don't think you would ever change to say Bath.
Well,
your whole life, no matter where you lived.
Yeah, because that would
be
okay. Is it? Yeah, exactly. You'd be a traitor to the north. You see, for me, I'm from the Midlands, so I mean, I did feel a bit treacherous when I started saying Bath. Like, I think when I started going to college, I became part of I adopted that trap Bath split.
Yeah.
So that kind of felt.
Midlands is okay. Midlands do that. If that's I've got friends from the Midlands and they do chop and change. So that's fine.
If you did it, they would not let you back into the north. They would not let you go back past Cheshire.
No, and I wouldn't deserve to go back either. So for me, in my head, they're the things I would kind of be setting out, going, right, well, this, I would probably keep this sound. And then it's finding the choreography of all of that. But obviously that would be quite hard to coach depending on who you were coaching, because it could be quite terrifying. So I think that's that could be another tricky situation as well. But yeah, a good challenge.
As you're on the subject of RP, I'm going to ask you this because this came up in a chat room that I was in on Clubhouse, and it was I believe it was a gentleman asked about whether I think that a lot of North Americans, when they're learning the RP accent, whatever that means,
Mhm.
whether they tend to be taught like a kind of a conservative, like an old-fashioned version. So quite often when what he said was you tend to hear Americans when they're playing a British person in RP, they're doing a kind of an old-fashioned version of it. Have you found that?
Yeah, I have actually. And so I've either heard extremely posh, um, but again, it's kind of what you hear in films as well, which is kind of upheld a lot of the time,
Hmm.
with baddies being oh so very posh.
Hmm.
So it's either that or you hear kind of a mixture, which makes it sound a bit transatlantic. So there's still quite a lot of Americanisms in there, but with some British vowels. So it kind of has this, this almost 1940s, very light transatlantic, accent, and it doesn't really know where it sits. So yeah, they're the two things that I find most common with Americans
Do you
doing
think
art.
do you think it's because it's something that is perpetuated because it's become accepted in Hollywood and it's like, okay, yeah, we're fine. That's what we do. We're fine with that. Or is it something else that's happening here? Is it like a
I don't
lag or?
I think it's genuinely just what we're saturated with, what you hear. Like we have so much American TV. We hear it all the time.
Mhm.
Um, again, I don't know. I don't, I've never lived in America, but I just think it's what is heard. That's all I
Right.
can. That's all I would guess.
Interesting.
And
So
then
it's kind of a
of course
feedback loop.
it's much easier to go to the extreme of an accent to learn it.
Mhm.
Um, and it
Like
and it
almost
depends
like
on
a
your ear as
stereotype.
well, how much detail you can hear. And it's easier to cling on to those really strong, extreme sounds rather than the softening that's happened over the years
Right.
and merge that way. Mm.
Is there an accent that you wouldn't want to teach or that you wouldn't teach, or is anything game for you?
Um, no, I don't think there's an accent I wouldn't want to teach. I guess maybe if it was an accent from another country and if there was a coach from that country who was kind of native in that language,
Mhm.
then of course they'd be the better option, but that's not always the case. So no, I would teach any accent. I would teach any accent. That's my job.
Right.
It's my job to teach accents. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Great. And another question for me is, do you ever get starstruck? And if so, how do you deal with it?
um so this is really interesting as well because I do still get starstruck, but I'm almost used to. I'm not going to say I'm used to, meeting A-list celebrities or anything, but I'm used to the feeling of what it feels like to meet somebody that you're starstruck by,
Mhm.
and then it kind of quickly goes away. If that makes sense. I think I said that quite an awkward way, but yeah, I think I used to get a lot more starstruck, and it took me a while to get over it. But now I know I'm gonna, if I'm gonna meet someone new that I love or admire or just know, and then I meet them, and then I think, okay, well they're a person now. And so as soon
Mhm.
as you have a conversation with them, you get to know them because you have to build that rapport with
Yeah.
any actor, and you have to figure out your way of working together.
Mhm.
Um, so then I would say that my starstruckness then quickly becomes awestruck in a way. So rather than me going, "Oh my god, it's this person," I'm
Mhm.
actually just really honored to be working with them. And I think that's the thing that I think that has turned into slightly, if that makes sense. I actually just have many moments now where I go, "Oh my god, like I get to work with you and you're brilliant." Like, and it's amazing. Like I feel super, super lucky to be in some rooms that I'm in sometimes. So yeah, I think that answers that, I think.
Well, I think Dame Helen Mirren said the same about you, though, didn't she?
What,
She
that she
said,
gets starstruck by me?
yeah. Well, I don't know if she was starstruck so much, but I think she said, "Oh, it was really." I can't remember the exact words, but she said it was like working with a friend.
Yeah, we're friends, we're pals. She's amazing. And this is the thing, carrying on with the starstruck thing. You're just people. You're just two people working together. Obviously it's Dame Helen Mirren and she's a legend and incredible. But more than that, she's just a really amazing, incredible actor and also incredibly kind, funny, just brilliant person to be around and to work with. She's just amazing to work with. She's a dream of a person to work with. And so yeah, you have to remember that we the coach, we're there to do a job for them. It's a big role to play for them. It's a really personal relationship, built on trust and humor. Like, let's just say it. You have to be able to have a laugh and get on with people. Well, I mean, it makes the day go quicker. And everybody wants to have a laugh. So yeah, you're just as much, you're just as important to them as they are to you when you're on those jobs. So yeah.
Is there? Okay, I've got one more question, and then maybe we'll have a chat once I turn this off. But
once we stop going live so successfully.
This is the bit where you go, oh, actually, you know what? Is that the time? I really have to go. But is there an actor that you would love to work with in the future?
Oh, so I have two. I don't know whether I should say them.
Maybe you could tell me afterwards.
Maybe I'll tell you afterwards. Yeah. Well, I'll tell
Then
you
I'll
one.
post it. Helen said.
I'll tell you one. One is Melissa McCarthy. I absolutely love her, but she probably wouldn't need me because she's brilliant already at every accent I've seen her do. So yeah, that's my one. That's one. I'll tell you one. Yeah, I'd love to work with her.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. And I just want to say that to everybody who's watching, if you haven't seen Last Night in Soho, you should try to get to see that. Amazing. So this was a movie that I saw, I think it was last month. I think it was on release here like last month. And I'm so glad I went to see it because you worked on that. That must have been an amazing production to work on.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like, I think just that's the best word to describe that job. It was just really cool to be on that set. And looking back now as well, I think I just didn't really appreciate how what an experience that was. I mean, I did, but it's always in retrospect you go, oh man, that was so cool. Just the night, even the night shoots. Normally night shoots are like, oh god, night shoots. But it was night shoots in Soho, filming in Soho in the middle of a heat wave. It was just so much fun. Yeah, it was really, really a great and amazing experience. Yeah, It was fab. And also the Duke is out this month. The Duke is coming out on the 25th of this month. And I'm so excited for people to see that as well. That was just an incredible job. And
it looks like a great movie as well. And it's
so
based on
good.
a true story, right?
True story, yeah. It's an amazing story, a beautiful, heartwarming film, and I got to coach my favourite accent on that for 2 months. So yeah,
that was Geordie, right?
Yeah. That was a wicked job as well. Oh, my phone might die.
Okay. Well, we'll finish up now, but yeah, I'll look out for that too when the Duke comes out over here. Definitely, that's one on my list. Okay, so Helen, stick around a little bit. Want to close it down, but I wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time because I know you're really busy person, and your time's valuable. So thank you so much for agreeing to come and chat with me today. We appreciate
Oh,
it.
you're welcome. Thanks so much for having me. It's been really nice to have a little chat. Although I must apologize to everyone if anyone's still watching about the technical issues.
Oh no, that's my fault, not yours.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's still
they'll
it
have a
could
go
be
at
me
me
as
for
well.
that.
It
There are
could
actually
be me.
there are actually people watching, which is amazing. That's because you're on the air.
Absolutely.
So you were coming on. So,
Sorry.
but yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you keep in touch, and that we'll get to chat more about this stuff at some other time.
Yeah, great. No, we're probably done now, to be fair, but that was fun. So I'm kidding. Yeah, it was great. Thanks for having me. This was my first live. So
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a first for you, and this is an honor that I am your that I broke your interview on Instagram cherry.
This is incredible. Yeah. I'm going to be going live every day now, probably. I'm going to be addicted to going live. Like, where's Helen? Oh, she's just live. Yeah, she's just live.
If you can get the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, if I can get the Wi-Fi. Not in a
Okay.
hotel. Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Bye.